Thanks for stopping by the channel today. We're going to try out a temperature torture test today of sorts. We're going to go out on a longer ride and put the new 2024 wiredcruiser through its paces and see how the motor temperature stands up to the Arizona heat. So going to go on a longer ride, somewhere between 20 and 30 miles, and we'll do a variety of different ranges. We'll be doing some pedal assist, we'll be doing some throttle, mid-range throttle, full throttle. We're just going to run the gamut, just the normal way I typically ride, understanding that's a little on the aggressive side, but it'll be a good test to see how the motor temperature holds up to the Arizona heat on a 100-degree day. I will also be sharing my 50-mile ride first impressions along the way, give you some feedback, some things I've experienced. Just to set the parameters, it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Battery's at 100%. Motor temperature 69, just sitting. I've reset the odometer and the time, and we'll get started. So I've done this test previously, but I didn't record it, and it was a night ride, still about this temperature range, right around 100. And I went on a 12-mile ride, and I noticed that my peak motor temperature was 265 degrees. So I wanted to see if I romped on it a little bit, if I could either replicate that or see if I had a repeat of that, or if I was able to get it to go up any higher, just to make sure that that motor in warm, hot conditions like this can handle it. So I'm gonna hop on the canal road, not too far from where I live. This kind of heads north along one of the canal tributaries we have here in the Valley of the Sunstroke. Still on pedal assist 3. Barely pedaling and still doing 32 miles an hour. And I still got 2 more assist levels to go. Okay, we are 4 minutes into the ride, 1.8 miles. Motor temperature is at 118 degrees. Just getting started. I'm still tweaking the power assist levels, percentage-wise, and the start strength levels. That's 0 to 3 on the start assist level. I'm down to. Brought it down from 0 up to 2. 0 is the strongest. Just trying to get a little bit of a smoother launch. And my power assist levels currently, there's 5 levels of power assist. First level is 15%. Second is 30%. Third is 50%, fourth is 75%, and the fifth and highest level is 100%. So when you want to go across an intersection like that, just hit that throttle and you'll have no problem whatsoever. Right now I'm throttle only. Degrees, sorry, 39 miles per hour, 40 miles per hour. So to put that in perspective, I'm 6'5", 260 pounds. With these BMX style handlebars, it's a very upright riding position, so I'm blocking a lot of wind. And even with my weight, this bike can get up to 42, 43 miles an hour. There's no wind right now, flat level ground. I think that's pretty amazing with that new 45 amp 60 volt controller that peaks at around 48 amps. Definitely made this just a little bit quicker than the last model. Alright, gonna get a little bit more off-road now. So I have noticed, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a bit of a delay in the throttle in the mid speed range, 18 to 32 miles an hour. If I just give it a little bit of throttle, it just hesitates and then pumps a little bit, kind of jerks. And I don't know how really to fix that in the settings. There may be a way. If anybody knows of a way to get that mid-range jerkiness out of the throttle, I'm not talking about when you gun it. I'm talking about when you just do some light throttle acceleration like this. I hope that jerkiness kind of comes through. Now, if I hit the throttle, yeah, I don't get any of that hesitation. It's only when I try to give it a little bit of throttle. Now, if I do pedal assist, which I'm still in pedal assist 3, that's very smooth. No problems. It just wants to pick up speed. I think I'm actually going to have to dial pedal assist 3 down to a lesser percentage than 50. Because it just wants to go. But as you pedal, there's no jerkiness. It's very smooth. And that's at every pedal assist. Okay, coming up to this intersection, we are 9 minutes into the ride. Just turned 10. 4.4 miles. We're at 159 degrees, and it's now down to 99 degrees ambient temperature. Alright, I'm going to try going up to pedal assist 4. You can hear that motor kick in. It is just pushing me faster and faster. I'm in top gear, 7th gear. I'm still able to pedal. So pedal assist 4 is 75% of the motor power. Off the pavement, but the road's in pretty good condition. Doing throttle, so as you can see, I'm not really romping on it all the time. It's just a mixture of different speeds, different ways of riding, pedal assist, throttle, trying to mix it up. Occasionally romping it, you know how normal people would ride. Well, I say normal, that's me. Right now I'm just throttle. Kicking in the pedals. Pedal assist 4. That seems like no time. I'm a mile down the road. I think it's so quick. Let's go up to pedal assist 5. Won't leave it on 5 long because it's dragging me up to 37. And I am on a gravel road. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to tweak those power assist settings down a little bit just to try to adjust for this power. Let's go back down to 3. All right, let's check in. 14 miles into the ride, or 14 minutes rather, 6.2 miles. It's still 99 degrees ambient temperature, and the motor temperature is 192. So we're creeping up there. I tell you, these 4-piston hydraulic brakes by Gemma they're just fantastic. Don't really feel like testing them out hard on this loose sand and gravel. Not feeling that lucky. So let me give you a little background on my use case and why I bought this bike and why I picked this one in particular. I'm 64 and I ride a motorcycle. I have for over 40 years. I have a big touring bike, a Honda Goldwing. Love it. Will ride it till I can't ride it any longer. It's a fantastic bike, but you can't take it everywhere. Not only that, but every time I ride it, especially in the summertime, you have to put so much gear on. I have to wear the motorcycle pants with the Kevlar built into it if you skid, motorcycle boots, full-faced helmet that goes into a 3/4. And then I have the riding jacket with the steel plates in them for skidding. Now that might sound like overkill to a lot of folks, but that's the way I've always ridden, just because I like to ride fast. I like to get a little bit careless at times, maybe push the limits of what I should on a big touring bike. But we have some really nice roads in Arizona that you can get a lot of switchbacks on, so that's why I kind of ride aggressively like that. So I wanted a bicycle that looked like a bicycle. First of all, I have a motorcycle. I don't want a moped. I have no desire to get a moped style bike at this time. That might change later, but I want to be inconspicuous. I want people to look at a bike that I'm riding and go, yeah, that looks like just kind of a bigger version of a normal bike. But I want to be able to hit that throttle, and I want to be able to get that adrenaline rush I get on my motorcycle. So that's basically why I got this. I want to be inconspicuous, but I want to have power at my fingertips or at my wrist. And to get across an intersection or to get me out of a dicey situation, or whatever the case is, yeah, I'm not going to use it all the time, but I want to know that if I do use it and I need it, that it's there. And again, without drawing attention, it just looks like a normal bike that if you just looked at it, you wouldn't think that it would go 40 miles an hour. And I'm willing to bet that there's a lot of people out there like me that are in that same use case, fit that same profile. With a bicycle like this, you can ride down a canal like this. You can ride on sidewalks, or at least you can in Arizona, up to 28 miles an hour. Or in the city I live in, we have a lot of bicycle paths on almost every main road, which is great. So I want to be able to take it a little bit off-roading like this. I mean, I'm not going to get no desire to go out on a real mountain bike trail. First of all, this bike isn't built really, I don't believe, for a heavy mountain bike trail. Certainly not for jumping or things like that. And especially this being a step-through frame, I'm a little concerned if I get a little crazy that I might bend this frame, and I really don't want to do that. And yeah, at 64, I don't. I've had those days. They're in the past. I had my fun. I had my crashes. I had all that. But in my case, I'm still a bit of an adrenaline junkie, and I like speed, and I like feeling, alive. I figure I'm not dead yet. I want some excitement. I want to be able to get on something that looks like it isn't what it is and get that adrenaline going. This bike does that. Let's do another check. We're 21 minutes into the ride, 8.5 miles. Ambient air temperature is 98. We came down a degree. Motor temperature is 194. I'm a big fan of the 60-volt e-bikes. There's not a lot of choices out there. I like the e-cells 5-star. I looked at that. I actually purchased that back in, I think it was late February. I waited my 2 months, came in, and unfortunately it was the wrong color. And so it was about that. So I got my money back on it. I was kind of hesitant, but I was really set on that color. I had already bought some accessories for it to match that color, so I decided to go ahead and return it. And then a week later, as I was deciding what I was going to do, if I was going to, I didn't want to wait another 2 months to order another one and have to start all over again. So that's when somewhere around I think it was the beginning of May, Wired made their announcement that they were coming out with a new design, and they were going to go from still a 60 volt, it's going to be dual batteries. I thought, oh boy, there you go, a powerful bike like this, you romp on it a little bit, you're going to chew through that battery. So I thought having two, that sounds like the way to go. And then they went from a 45 amp potted controller to a 40 amp potted controller to a 45 amp potted controller, which gave it a little bit more power, and I do like power. So I placed the order in mid-May for the Cruiser, because at the time the 5-star bike did not have a step through, and I really wanted to step through it at my age. My knees are shot from playing basketball all those years, and I just can't swing my leg over there comfortably on such a big bike like this. So went ahead and purchased it in the middle of May, received it the very last day of July. But I was still torn because, like I said, I like the e-cells bikes. I like the way that they're built. I think they're a rugged bike, and I think they've been in the dual battery business for a while, so I think they're pretty good at that. So it was a tough decision. And then I noticed shortly after I purchased the wiredcruiser that eCells announced that they're now making a step-through version of the 5-star. And I thought, oh boy, so I was really torn because it looks very similar to this one, and it's going to have, I think you can get it set up with dual batteries. And they have several different options available to customize your bike that Wired didn't, and I like that. I like that those options. You know, to have options is really nice. And I like, if I didn't get them all, which I wasn't going to, I like knowing I could if I wanted to, or if I wanted to get them later. So right now I'm thinking about buying another bike for my wife. I want to be able to ride together with her. I am concerned. She likes this bike. I didn't purchase one for her because she likes the bike itself, but I told her that these bikes, they're deceiving how big they are. On those pictures on the website, you can't really tell. And this bike is meant, I think I said in a previous video, I made a mistake. I said it was for people from 5'3" to 6'4", but it's actually from their manual. It says 5'5" to 6'4". So when I got it in, I asked my wife if she wanted to ride it. She did. So I put the original seat post, a little 5 1/4 inch seat post that comes with it, with a wired seat, all the way down. She was able to ride it, but not comfortably. Now I knew it was going to be pushing it, but I thought, yeah, if you tiptoe, but she's willing to do that, but it was a bit of a stretch. It was a little bit more than a tiptoe, and I was concerned that, you know, she wouldn't be able to mount it and dismount it comfortably without potentially injuring herself. And a bike of this weight at 105 pounds for a little 5'2" woman, there's not a lot of chances she's going to be able to keep that bike up once it starts coming over. So as much as she liked it, I think she accepted it. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go smaller. So now I'm on the hunt for something a little bit smaller. I tried to talk her into a 20-inch tire before, but she wants the bigger bikes like this one, and even if she tiptoes. So I'll be back on the hunt again, but that's okay, because I like doing that kind of thing. I like doing all the research, putting the time in. Kind of weird like that. I'm going to hop out on the main road and do a little bit more full power for a little while. See what that does. Yeah, so like I was saying, I'm on the hunt again for something for my wife to be able to ride comfortably. She does like some power too, but I'm a little concerned about that. When I let her ride this thing, I put it back into class 2 mode, you know, maximum of 20 miles an hour, and I put it to the lowest power assist levels, lowest start levels, start strength, all that, because I was nervous. If you've not ridden a bike like this before, these electric bikes with this 60-volt system, they take off really quick. If you're not ready or haven't experienced that before, you can actually lose your grip if you're not prepared for that kind of power initially. So that's why I was kind of nervous and had to dial things down, because I was scared she was going to try to gun it or something, and unknowingly. But she did really well. Disappointed that this one wasn't going to work. So I might wait till look back at the eCells step-through bike and find out what the lowest rider height is for that, Because like I said, I like e-cells. I think they make a very good bike, very comparable to this. I think they're neck and neck. And I really wouldn't mind having one e-cells and one wired, to be honest. I like them both that much. Now, I've never ridden an e-cells bike, but I've sure watched a lot of videos on it, I'll tell you that. Alright, romping it up a little bit. 37. Ambient air temperature is 98. Motor temperature is 231. 31 minutes into the ride, 12.3 miles. So this is about where I was last week, or a little bit of more than a week ago, when I did a 12-mile ride, and the motor temperature got up. But I was on a main road like this, and I was a lot of times it was 3/4 throttle, full throttle, just finding out what the power limitations were. Heading up towards eastern Scottsdale, towards Fountain Hills area. Miles an hour. Full throttle. 41. 42. Slightly uphill going over this overpass. Alright, we got a little downhill coming up. We're at 43. I got no one behind me. Let's see what this baby can get up to. 44. 45. You can do it! Oh, that speed limit sign said 25. I don't care. 45.6. And we're back to level ground. Motor temperature at 233. I've been on it pretty hard the last mile or so. So I think this is a pretty good test. 235. Another little downhill. 237 degrees on the motor temperature. Not bad. I could definitely live with that. If I remember right, the limitations temperature-wise on the motor is a little over 300 degrees. Hope I'm right on that. That's why I was getting a little concerned when it got up around 265, hoping that was just a one-off, or something to do with the bike being brand new. Maybe it's not broken in. I don't know. Not a mechanic, but okay, let up the throttle. Still at 275 degrees. Pedal for a little while. See if that motor temperature will come down a little bit. Ambient temperature is 98 degrees. I turned around there about the 15-mile mark, so I've got 15 miles to return home, so this will be a 30-mile round trip roughly, unless I go off on a different track back home. Pull around here 25 to 30. See if that temperature starts to come down. It is. We got 264 degrees now. 262. concern I mentioned in another video was the possible overheating of the controller because of where it's mounted in the crank housing, the metal crank housing. There's no ambient airflow against going across that controller to help cool it down. It is a potted controller, and I know that, which is great, and the reason they do that is to dissipate that heat with that gel that's inside. That's why they call it potted. And I'm pretty sure this bike has some built-in safety factors. If you start to approach the limits, I think the previous models, I didn't have a previous wired bike, so that's my first one, but I've seen some videos. I think if you get near the temperature maximums, that the bike will either shut down or it will give you some kind of warning or a combination of both. But so far we're reaching 275 degrees on the motor. I didn't get any warnings, nothing was flashing. So that's a positive sign. And if we're reaching the upper levels of the temperature tolerance on the motor, we're probably doing something similar on that controller. But the motor has ambient air going across it to help cool it down. The controller doesn't. But so far so good. I've got a few comments from others who were waiting on their bikes, and they were having similar, waiting for the bikes to arrive, and they have similar concerns about where the controller was located and the fact that it doesn't have any ambient air running across it to potentially cool it, and whether if it was going to be an issue or not. So that's the reason I wanted to do this test to see. All right, in the Phoenix area, we can definitely test out the temperature ranges. We can put it through its paces, stress it out a little bit, and maybe it'll help alleviate some people's fears who might have been on the fence about buying one of these high-powered bikes. So far so good. We're back up to 271, 269 temperature. We're at 41 minutes into the ride, 17.8 miles, and we've come down 1 degree to 97 on the ambient temperature. Oh, I love these brakes. It's a good test right there. Here we go, full throttle. Look at us almost keeping up with these cars. This is a bicycle. Yes, but it's no ordinary bicycle. This is a Clark Kent stepping into a phone booth, coming out as Superman type of bicycle. A wolf in sheep's clothing. Alright, we're coming up to the light. We are at 260 degrees on the motor. 46 minutes into the ride. And we have just about to tick over to 20 miles. Doesn't feel like 20 miles. Motor temperature now is up to 276 degrees. We're 49 minutes into the ride, 41.3 miles. Alright, looking down at my motor temperature, it is up as high as it's been, 285 degrees. Alright, looking down at the motor temperature, it's climbing. We're now up to 293 degrees Fahrenheit. And I've been romping into doing a pedal assist 4. So I'm going to go down to pedal assist 3. We're coming up on downtown Gilbert, the old downtown area where I was saying it's a lot of restaurants and entertainment. Just gotta watch your speed in here. Doing a pedal assist too. See it over there, the Dirk's Bentley Whiskey Row. And on Friday and Saturday night, the place is hopping. So coming down to 276 degrees on the motor temperature. It's 25 mile an hour speed limit in here. You can keep up with traffic, no problem. Motor temperature is up, or is at 287. We are now 1 hour into the ride, 26 miles. Battery percentage is at 45. And it's now 96 degrees ambient temperature. So no warnings have come up yet, even when they got up in the 290 range. I didn't see any warnings. So it must have still been in the operational temperature. So 278 degrees on the motor, 1 hour, 1 minute, 26.7 miles. Motor watch, by the way, it's pulling 2,500 in that range, which is pretty good for a battery that's at 47%. Motor temperature's up to 294. Still no warnings. I'll dial it back for a little bit. Hang around 28 miles an hour. In case any of the Gilbert's finest are out, and I'll just say, hey, nothing to see here. I'm legal. 28. I'm pedaling. Move on. By the way, because this motor is 1,500 watts nominal and it peaks at over 3,200, but still, it's a 1,500 watt motor. So I purchased these stickers on Amazon because, like I said, I was bored and I had too much time on my hands. So they said a class 2, it was a class 2 e-bike, 20 miles an hour. It's one you put on your center down post that a lot of bikes have, and I didn't think this bike would come with one, right? So I bought a whole packet of them. You had to buy 8, something like that. And they even have them on there that are white and lime green that kind of matches this paint scheme I have. So when the bike arrived, to my surprise, Wired put a sticker on the down seat post, on the down seat tube, exactly where I was going to put the sticker that I bought that says 750 watt class 2. So if you got one of these bikes ordered, don't waste the $7 or $8 on Amazon like I did to go buy stickers to try to fake out a cop later on that you got a legal e-bike. It comes with it on it. Now, I'm not advocating you go out and ride this this wiredcruiser. I'm not advocating that you unlock it or you take it in the unrestricted mode. This is just me endorsing that. Just to be clear, this isn't for everybody, and this is a perfectly good e-bike. If you want to keep it in class 2, go up to class 3 and do 28 miles an hour, whatever's legal in your area. Do what's right for you. You do you. I can only speak for me, and I will go ahead and unlock it. And I'm not going to romp it all the time, but I want to know I can if I need to. Alright, motor temperature is 271. It's coming down a little bit. We're an hour and 6 minutes into the ride. 28.7 miles covered. Pedal assist 3. 43% left on the battery, and it is now still 96 degrees ambient temperature. Motor temperature is climbing back up a little bit. I guess the final conclusion on the ride is temperature is now at 282. We went 1 hour and 10 minutes. Total ride time went 30.7 miles. 38% battery left with an ending ambient temperature of 96 degrees. No warning lights. Nothing failed. The motor held up. I think we got close to the limitations of the heat parameters and the heat tolerance, the maximums. And I would say that that's a pass. I mean, I put it through some pretty grueling scenarios with the throttle, with a mixed bag of the way I ride, pedal assist, 2 through 5, mostly 2 through 4, some off and on full throttle. Probably the max distance I went on the full throttle was at the most a full mile. But if you found any of this helpful, informative, a little entertaining, I'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button and consider subscribing. Till then, till the next one, we will talk to you then.